Hi everyone, my name is Meera. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time coming to my channel, don't forget to subscribe because I make lots of videos regarding studying, working, and living in the UK. So, have you decided that you want to come to the UK for studying but you are still confused about which intake is the perfect one for you, the January or the September intake? Watch this video till the end because I'm going to help you choose the perfect intake for you. If you've decided to come and study in the UK, you have two options, the January intake and the September intake. A lot of students are quite confused about which intake is the most appropriate one for them. So in today's video, we'll discuss about 5 main reasons that can help you decide which intake is the perfect one for you. The first point is course options. If you come in the September intake, you will have so many course options compared to the January intake. This is because September is usually considered as the main and the biggest intake. So more universities have more course options and more seats available. If you decide to apply for a course in September, there are higher chances that you will get the course that you like, and there are higher chances that you'll get admitted in the university of your choice as well. But in January, there are lesser course options because a lot of universities do not offer this particular intake. So you might have to compromise on the university or the course that you're planning to study in the UK. The second point is scholarships. In September intake, as there are more admissions, more courses, the chances of scholarships are higher as well. Whereas in the January intake, there are only few scholarships options available in fewer universities in the UK. So if scholarship is something that is very important to you, it is more preferable that you try to apply for the September intake instead of the January one. The third point is part-time jobs. September is the main hiring season for part-time jobs in the UK. This is because the upcoming months, which is November and December, have Christmas celebrations all across UK, and there are lots of part-time openings as stores make much more sales in these particular months. So part-time job opportunities are a lot more for the people who come in September, because if you're a student and you've landed in the UK in September, you can take a month to settle in the UK and get all your necessary documentation, and when you start applying for part-time jobs, they will start hiring for November and December, so you're more likely to get a part-time job. But if you land in January is usually considered as a dead month in the UK because a lot of the sales in the stores drop and a lot of people lose their part-time jobs in this particular month. This is because all the Christmas season is over and now there are lesser people shopping in the stores or going out to eat and all of those things. Hence, the part-time job ratio drops as well. So if you're a student and your plan is definitely to do a part-time job after landing in the UK, you should give a priority to September. Point number 4, accommodations. If you're coming for the September intake, there is going to be a huge crowd for accommodations because this is the bigger intake and a lot of students come in the UK. So if you're planning to come in the September intake, you need to book your accommodation as soon as possible, way before you land in the UK, because there's a lot of competition and the most famous accommodations usually get full. And even the university accommodations get filled up really fast. So you need to act quick and book your accommodations if you're coming in the September intake. Whereas if you're coming in the January intake, things are a bit more relaxed, and even if you book your accommodation towards the end of coming to the UK, you will still be likely to land a good place. The fifth point is the weather. If you come in September, the weather in the UK is quite pleasant and it'll be so much easier for you to adjust once you have landed. Whereas in January, the winters are really heavy and cold and it takes a lot of time for an international student to adapt to the country and the changes in the weather. So the first few months after you land in January could be disturbing and might be harder to adjust because of the winter. I'm not saying this is something really hard, but if you are somebody who's really sensitive about weather and it's hard for you to adapt to new climates and temperatures, I would definitely suggest you to come in the September intake instead of the January one. So now we have discussed 5 major points which can help you to decide if January or September is the best intake for you. No matter which intake you come in, there are always opportunities in the UK, and if you work hard, I'm sure you can land a part-time job, a full-time job, and a scholarship as well. So it's totally your decision and you need to decide which intake suits you the most. My general recommendation to anybody would be to come in the September intake because there are so many pros to come in this season instead of the January one. But if you are someone who has missed the deadlines of your best priority universities and you really want to come to the UK as soon as possible and not postpone it by one whole year, definitely January is the way to go for you. It's not that it's a very bad intake and you should just never come in that intake and wait another whole year. If your priority is to come in the UK and you're ready to work a little harder, adjust with the temperature and be okay to compromise a bit on the course and the university, you can go ahead and come in the January intake. But anybody else who's planning to come to the UK well in advance and has a lot of time, I would recommend you to come in the September intake. I myself had come to the UK in the September intake too, and that really helped me to adjust to the weather here and helped me land a part time job in just 3 months of landing. If you're interested to check out how I got a part time job within just 3 months of landing in the UK, make sure you check out the video that's shown up. I hope this video was really helpful for you. Please subscribe to my channel and comment down and let me know which intake you're planning to come to study in the UK. Thank you and see you next time.